Sitting down with the doctor, Dr. David Klein of the Stages of Life Institute, and this hits home with a lot of people listening right now. The topic is retirement, diabetes, and cancer. Whoa.
Yeah, interesting thing. You would not believe, okay, that these things are interrelated.
No.
Okay? However, all you need to do is look around. You know, many of the people listening in right now are in retirement communities because we have some really cool ones here in Florida. Okay? Very, very nice, beautiful facilities, lovely homes, nice roads, great stores. Doctors, I don't know. But all things considered, okay, it's not a bad place to be. But then what? Okay, now that you've retired, you've made your buck, you're now drawing your pension, you're doing all the stuff that you worked all these years for. Yeah, true enough, you had diabetes, a little bit of drinking too much, eating too much, not paying attention, gained too much weight, but, you know, the medication helps it. Now it's time for retirement, okay? And wouldn't you know it, okay? Bam, you go to the doctor for checkup, or you don't go to the doctor for checkup, something disastrous happens, and you find out there's a diagnosis of cancer. Look around. This is going to happen to a number of people that you know every day of every month of every year, and it will remain that way. Now, is this a coincidence? Okay, you know, you go on for decades working your butt off, doing all this other kind of stuff. Why wasn't the diagnosis made earlier on? Okay, and well, it goes a little something like this. It's called a perfect storm. Okay, diabetes itself is a precursor. It is a weakening of your immune system. Now, does the diabetes itself cause the immune system to weaken? The answer is yes. Is it the immune system that causes the diabetes to weaken? The answer is no. What it is, it's a simple chemical problem whereby the insulin receptor becomes resistant to insulin. Insulin levels have to climb in order to maintain blood sugar, and eventually the darn thing breaks. Now, why does it break chemically? It usually involves one of several different proteins, but there are 100 of these things involved, so there are lots and lots of potential causes of insulin resistance. Could it be autoimmune? Certainly. The most likely possibility is a mineral deficiency, but that really doesn't matter for the argument here. The argument here is that you carried the diagnosis of diabetes, whether it's insulin dependent or not, and then upon retirement, what can you expect? Retirement is the event. That's the executioner's axe coming down. Why? Because it's one of the most stressful times of your life. Retirement, something that you look for. The anticipation, okay, there it is. Boom. Now, marriages go flip-flop. This is a very, very common for these stresses to upset marriages. It's a very, very common time for kids to become disenfranchised. It's a very, very common time for people to become sick. Well, why? Well, what do you do when you retire? Well, we're going to move. Oh, another marvelous stress thrown on top of the retirement. Okay, so you're getting rid of one house, selling it, selling those memories, selling those belongings. Highly stressful for everybody. You can think you are invulnerable. You are Superman. You are Superwoman. You have got it all together. Okay, but going through your junk is a very, very highly stressful, charged time of your life. Moving from one city to another where all of your friends are. We're going to have to go find new friends. Oh, that's an easy thing for most things to do. Remember how it was when you went to college or went to high school? How much fun that was? Well, you were a young buck or young chick at that time. That made it really, really easy. Well, you're not quite so resilient right now. It's less likely that you're going to bounce from the bottom without breaking something, and that's the way these things go. Taking out a new mortgage, learning a new system, a state change. It's all kinds of things will cause these stresses, and that in turn trashes the immune system. Now, what is it that protects you from cancer? Wouldn't you know? It's your immune system. And
Whoop.
that is where things tend to go sideways, as it were. Okay, that's why men, by and large, at retirement put themselves at huge risk of dying not just of cancer, but of heart disease. Okay, it didn't happen when they were working 40, 50, 60-hour weeks. It happens when they're not working. Trying to find some meaning in their life. That's when people tend to get sick. Women, what does it happen? When their kids leave the house. The empty nest syndrome, it is the same stress. But generally that happens earlier in life than a man's retirement, or a woman's retirement for that matter. Okay? So the perfect storm is when these things happen simultaneously. So why am I bringing this up? I'm not doing it to ruin your day. I'm not doing it to do anything but to call this to your attention. The first thing that you need to do in preparation for retirement, very first thing you need to do is to get your blood sugar under control. Now, true enough, your doctor's looking after you. You see that doctor once a year. Okay, that's great. Okay, why do you want to go see the doctor more frequently? Because maybe it takes a little bit more effort to keep you healthy. Keeping you alive is easy. You can train a monkey to keep you alive. Okay, it's just the way that it goes. But keeping you healthy takes a little bit more effort, a little bit more intervention, a whole lot more intervention in some people's cases. But the preparation is highly important. Now, what do you do after the fact? Okay, I see a lot of people down here that have already retired. Well, I'm not going to see people from Illinois in preparation for their move. It is going to happen. But you do need to get the blood sugars under control. Your diet has to reflect this type of a change. So you have to watch what you eat. Okay, we make ourselves sick. We can make ourselves better. Hippocrates had it right when he said, "Let food be thy medicine." You can create illness and you can treat illness with the same foods. It's rate, route, and amount. Okay, so the very first thing you need to do now that you're approaching retirement or you are retired is to pull sweets out of your diet. They're addictive. They're addictive for a reason. Your body craves that which poisons it. Just believe how that works, okay? So the fructose has got to go. The ice cream is almost the perfect addictive food. Why? It's cold. That stimulates appetite. It's got fat in it. That stimulates appetite. And it's got sugar. That stimulates appetite. And then to top it off, they make it pretty colors. Okay, put a cherry on top. It makes it very, very attractive. Very, very fattening, but it trashes things like blood sugar. Awful. There are many more interesting, complicated ways to get the blood sugar under control, but you always start with that which you voluntarily put in your mouth. Carbohydrates have to go away. Every day I have people say, well, I cut back. Well, cut it out. How many heroin addicts will come out and say, well, gee, I really cut down my use. I don't use it quite as much. The dosages, I've decreased them. How much sense does that make to you? If you have an alcoholic, okay, and they say, well, I've cut back to some enormous amount, or sometimes just a binge amount, it's still doing damage. Cigarettes, there's no good amount of cigarette to smoke, although there's increasing number of people out there doing fads where they believe that nicotine's good for you. Okay, it's Woody Allen. It's something Woody Allen would have put in Sleeper. Wait a second, he did. Okay, all right? Yeah, go back to the 1970s. There's a movie where Woody Allen did this. Okay, so I can't really take credit for it. But the fact of the matter is that you are what you eat, okay, and you need to be eating more healthy. So in preparation for your retirement, it's terribly important that you do this. Well, what else do you want to do? Okay, picking a decent doc isn't a bad idea. Picking a decent real estate agent's a better idea. Finding a piece of property that's not in some way impaired is a brilliant idea. We have lots of people coming down from up north that have never heard about mold. Okay, there's only one reason for that to happen. Okay, and that's for somebody that already learned the lesson to be able to dump their real estate. Okay, so coming down here is going to require some investment of intellectual property, let's say a consultant or two, maybe a lot of time on your part, but the preparation is key. Find something to do. Get another job. Take up a hobby. Something that's productive. You have to have a mission. Guys are like that. Guys have to have a mission. Dogs have to have a mission. If you've ever had a dog, they're looking for a job, whether it's barking at squirrels, chasing the garbage man. Mine used to like biting the UPS man. Okay, honest to God, that poor guy, I bought him more trousers. I bought more brown trousers for the UPS people than I can tell you. That dog hated the UPS. But you have to find a purpose. It's something that's very, very important.
Now, the lifestyle enters into this, too. I mean, you take people that come down here, all of a sudden they're on the golf course. They're at the swimming pool. They're outside. They're sitting there listening to music. And they are not putting on sunscreen.
You got it. Oh, it's just remarkable what they don't do. And when you don't know about alligators, you're going to get bitten, too. So you've got to get out there. When you're looking at skin cancer, it's something that every Floridian is going to get. Okay, you're going to get two things in this state that you don't like, one of which is called skin cancer and the other one's called sun damage. Okay, now, as you move further south, the good news is in Central Florida, people are smarter than they are in South Florida. It's a well-known fact. Okay, you go down there and this people's skin looks like leather. They look like they're walking around wearing one big outer shell of wallet. Okay, why? Because the sun becomes more intense the closer you get to the equator. The further north it becomes more angular. That's just the way these things go. But your eyes, especially as you're getting into retirement, become very, very sensitive to cataracts. So you have to protect your eyes. These 400 rated UV sunglasses are very, very important. You have got to wear a hat, sunglasses, sunscreen, and watch yourself at the golf course, because there are no weeds on the golf course because it's loaded with chemicals. Okay, so you get off that golf course, you hose yourself down, shower, soapy water, get that stuff off, because it kills weeds, it kills insects, and it's going to kill you too as your immune system starts to take a hit.
And never reach for a golf ball that's next to the water.
Oh, no, that's great.
Ouch.
The last person did that. They call him Lefty.
There you go. Now, if you want to know more about Dr. Klein, more about the stages of life, go to suffernomore.com, and you can get the nutraceutical program that everyone should be on, and that is stagesoflifevitamins.com, stagesoflifevitamins.com.